When the self becomes disconnected from its emotions, the complacency of its experience with its very own existence will inevitably create addiction. What a lonely place the disconnect from the self can bring, and to feel for this illusion that it relies upon to fix it from the outside, so it may once again feel better. Welcome. I'm so glad that you can join me here today. 327, lesson 285. These pages 775 and 76. Woo! And 777. 3 sevens. This is an excerpt from my audiovisual version of the book named after my ministry, TheSovereignLight, and this is a course in metaphysical spirituality. Welcome. My name is Reverend Maria Arvanitidis. How do you do? Again, point number 10. What is resistance? And whenever you're ready, feel the grounding settle in with every breath. Breathe now. Oh, and release. Go ahead and do it. Bring it in. Nice. Air. Breathe in the oxygen. And release it. Congregate within the heart space center. Find the stillness from within. Peace. Whenever you're ready, let's say these words out loud. I am the change that reaches out and touches me back. I am the change that reaches out and touches me back. I am the change that reaches out and touches me back. I am the change that reaches out and touches me back. Woo! What an amazing affirmation for today. I can really feel that. Oh. How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? How does it ignite you from within? Become aware. And knowing when to stop and say enough. This is the discipline that finds the self learning from its overindulgence. The distraction that it finds to feel good with. These are the places where the self does not feel that it is enough and within itself for its fulfillment. The belief that it is never going to amount for anything will force it to subject itself into uncomfortable and possibly harmful experiences that it does not like. The pain or uncomfortable place from where and what it is not will cause it to dislike itself, preferring to escape from its situation it must undergo. Relying on the indulgence as a crutch, it does become to motivate the self to keep on going. Become the motivation and find it from within to inspire others with. Where do you leverage on that indices? And where do you need to work through your many abandonment issues, perhaps, whatever it might be, the lack of self-expression that doesn't allow you to be? Why are you procrastinating? Why are you self-sabotaging? Where is that fear? Where is that cowardly place within that requires fulfillment of courage, fearlessness, love? Preferring to escape from your situations? This is the illusion of having no other choice but to learn to love something it cannot. Will opt it to exit and run away, seeking to escape from the experience. I am the change that reaches out and touches me back. The past is made up of beliefs to prove to the distortions, and that of practical skills obtained is good enough to bring the value for thyself, and that it may experience the pleasure of its existence. So today, just practice to find the rewarding factors that every undesirable experience can bring. It may be a job or working for the money that it brings rather than the pleasure. How far can the self tolerate to be and do against its will? How far can it bend before it breaks right off? What are some of the thresholds before it feels it is being walked right over? Would it rather be harmed and in harm's way than to harm others and or just get out of the way altogether? Perhaps the triggering of rape or an unwanted pregnancy and or even as far back into the protective hands of a molester. When it does not see for anything rewarding from the experience to rely on memories of past experiences and to keep repeating that it may survive from such awareness, addiction to the identity the self is holding is the illusion, and that it must to earn a living with. Trying to be something that is not, that it is not, is and will never be what makes the dream of teamwork. The truth of independence is covered over by codependencies and the betterment of most relations, that the many of the world can empathize competently with each other. Well, there will be a lot to play with here and bring up all of its relationships, your relationships, still left for review. As these relationships codependently established, go deeper and find with those places the not enoughness within the self. Page 777. I am the change that reaches out and touches me back. The change that reaches me What is that change that reaches you? What is it that you're changing? Anything? Notice these subtleties. From the microcosm, the self began and came out of its feminine source, that it may relive as separate and reflect the opposite to it, and not as in the image of Creator. The rejection, too, from its very own awareness created, and as Creator, from the shock it felt. The self could now imagine that any other than that love it once had felt so unawarely prior to. Unawarely, rather, prior to. The need to feel fulfillment through the pleasing of another and to expect such in return created the magnetism, and with it the push and pull of addiction. The hive mind is a codependent construct, and the only way to see it proper is from within the microcosm of the self. When the body, mind, and spirit are well to cooperatively coordinate and function, any blemish will augment and distort, rising up for review and self-examination through the way of feelings. The power is in this connection to express and in its complete capacity, so that it may thrive as wholesome and complete. Any struggle from the macro or the microspective to deny will bring about the neediness and blind spots of such unawareness that it will cause to feel for the experience and the need for such emotion. So the purpose here today is to acknowledge the image of the self as the creator and responsible, not to become accustomed with any given experience, rather to be mindful not to exhaust its power overwhelmingly for how it feels.